In 1981, following in the footsteps of my father, who had been a petty officer in World War II and had won the Purple Heart, and an uncle who had been a command sergeant major in the Army, and during World War I had won the Bronze Star and a Purple Heart, and in Korea had won another Bronze Star and a Purple Heart. I decided to follow in their footsteps and do the only thing I was equipped to do, as that was become a chaplain in the Army. I was direct commissioned as a first lieutenant. I had an officer's rank, but I knew virtually nothing about being a soldier. The Army knew that. And so they sent me to basic training at Fort Dix, New Jersey, in the middle of the winter. Friends, it was cold, very cold. It snowed every single day I was there. One evening, as I was leaving the chow hall, I passed two young recruits who had obviously had all they wanted of the United States Army. As I approached them, one of them tendered a salute, which I returned. The other one did not. As they walked past me, one of them said to the other one, "That was a chaplain, an officer. You were supposed to salute." To which her friend who had not tendered a salute said, "Chaplains ain't nobody around here." To which her friend who had tendered the salute replied, "You're going to learn everybody is somebody around here." You know, one of the challenges we face every day in life in general, and especially in law enforcement, is seeing the somebody in everybody we encounter. It's so easy to judge, to discount folks for a variety of reasons. Some of them well-founded, I guess, but it's so easy to judge and to decide that because of bad decisions or circumstances in life or the way they act or the way they look or the way they smell, that there's not somebody in there. One afternoon, I was down at Wayne's Attic sharing lies with the boys who hang out down there in the afternoon when this homeless lady walked up and began to ask for help. Some help was given, not a lot. But as she departed, one of the guys began to remark about her homeless state and the bad decisions she had made and the reason she was there. And to which I replied, "You know, guys, at one time, she was somebody's baby girl. And she's still somebody. Despite all that we see and despite all that we judge her to be, there's somebody in there. There's somebody in there, believe it or not, created in the image of God. And it's our duty, our responsibility, not to judge her for what we see, but to see what we can that God sees in her." I was trying not to be too preachy, but I was also trying to make a point. Everybody is somebody. You know, you may be the person who, despite all that you can see in someone, all that you can see from their outward appearance, you may be the person who can actually see the somebody who is created in the image of God. That cold January evening, as I made my way down the walkway there, I heard a drill sergeant call those two young recruits to attention. I knew what was about to happen. So I turned around to intercede on their behalf. The drill sergeant snapped a salute to me and said, "With all respect, sir, it's my job to make these soldiers, these young soldiers, somebody in this army." I think all of our jobs is to attend to the business of seeing the somebody in everybody we meet, regardless of how they present, and even regardless of the difficult circumstances that we often encounter them in. My friends, my prayer for you and for me is that as we do our job, you in law enforcement and as me as a chaplain and as a retired minister, my prayer is that in a world where we are so quick to judge and be judged, we can all be about the sergeant's business of making somebody of everybody we see, treating them with respect, treating them with dignity. And even though they would seem not to deserve it, and even though they would seem not to appreciate it, to know that inside of every person, according to the scriptures, there is somebody created in the image of God. And my prayer is that we could all see that person as somebody created in the image of God and do our very best to bring that somebody to the forefront. I realize that may be a bit naive, but I'm willing to be naive if it means seeing somebody in everybody. May God keep you safe. Amen.